All right, so are you ready to kind of like dive into the whirlwind that is Tamil Nadu politics? Today we're going to be looking at unpacking, I guess, a recent controversy that has got people talking.
Oh, yeah.
All stemming from a pretty bold statement by DMK leader Duraimurugan.
Yeah.
And we're pulling our insights from a recent article by Oneindia Tamil, which is one of the most popular news sources over there in the region.
Yeah, it's really interesting here. I think what makes this so interesting is that it's not just some offhand political remark.
Right.
You know, it goes straight to the core of some really deep-seated ideological battles that are happening in Tamil Nadu politics.
Yeah.
All centered around the legacy of this guy, Periyar.
Yeah, that's right. And the article quotes Duraimurugan as saying, and I'm quoting here directly, "If it weren't for Father Periyar, I would be plowing a field to the loincloth today." That's a pretty loaded statement, right?
But absolutely, it's a very powerful statement. I think to fully grasp its significance, we need to understand who Periyar was.
Right.
And why he remains such a potent symbol in Tamil Nadu.
Yeah, for those who maybe aren't familiar with them, could you give us just a little background on Periyar?
Sure. So Periyar, also known as E.V. Ramasamy, was a true revolutionary figure in Tamil Nadu. He fought relentlessly against the caste system, advocated for social justice, rationalism, and women's rights. He founded something called the Dravidar Kazhagam, which was a movement that challenged the established social order and championed the rights of Dravidian people. His ideas have had a profound and lasting influence on Tamil society and politics, including the formation of the DMK, which is the party that Duraimurugan belongs to.
So when Duraimurugan is attributing his own social and political success to Periyar, it's more than just personal gratitude.
Exactly. It's a very deliberate strategy, I think, by the DMK to position themselves as the true inheritors of Periyar's legacy. By invoking Periyar in such a powerful way, Duraimurugan is solidifying the DMK's claim as the party that truly embodies his vision for social justice and equality.
Yeah.
It's a clever way to appeal to voters who revere Periyar and see him as a symbol of progress.
But as you mentioned, there's this controversy here. He didn't just express his gratitude. He took a swipe at those who disagree with Periyar's ideas.
Right.
Using a pretty strong term.
Which
roughly translates to degenerate offspring.
Yeah, and that's where the controversy comes in.
Right.
This wasn't just a statement of respect. It was a direct attack on those who hold different views.
Yeah.
The use of such strong language, especially in a public setting, was bound to stir up a reaction.
Right.
And it's worth noting that this happened during a political event where new members were joining the DMK. It was a very calculated move.
A very calculated move. Yeah, it seems like he had a specific target in mind as well.
Yeah.
Seeman, the leader of the NTK party.
Yeah.
Tell me a bit about him and why his views are at odds with the DMK's.
Sure. So Seeman and his party, the Nam Tamiler Kachchi, offer a different interpretation of Tamil identity and politics. They've been critical of Periyar and his ideology, presenting an alternative narrative that challenges the DMK's claim as the sole torchbearer of Periyar's legacy.
So we're seeing a clash, not just of personalities, but of ideologies here.
Exactly.
This isn't just a war of words. It's about who owns Periyar's legacy and the political power that comes with it.
Absolutely.
So what does this tell us about the broader political landscape in Tamil Nadu?
It reveals, I think, a deep ideological divide within the state. The DMK presents themselves as the true inheritors of Periyar's vision, championing his ideas of social justice and equality. But they're not the only ones claiming Periyar.
But the DMK isn't the only one claiming Periyar, are they?
Right.
How do other parties view him? Is he a universally revered figure?
Not exactly. While Periyar is widely respected, his legacy is not without its critics.
Yeah.
Other parties may embrace certain aspects of his ideology while rejecting others. Some may view his views as too radical or outdated, while others may offer alternative paths to social change.
Yeah.
This diversity of perspectives adds another layer of complexity to Tamil Nadu politics.
It's fascinating how these historical figures continue to shape the political landscape even today.
Yeah.
The Oneindia Tamil article mentions that M.K. Stalin, the DMK leader and current chief minister, was also at this event.
Right.
Did he address this controversy directly?
He did, but in a very subtle way.
Okay.
Rather than directly defending Duraimurugan or attacking Seeman, Stalin focused on portraying the DMK as a genuine and authentic political force, implicitly contrasting them with what he views as the theatrics and superficiality of some other parties.
That's a calculated move. But is it enough? Could he be risking alienating some of Periyar's ardent supporters by not taking a stronger stance?
It's certainly a gamble. By choosing to respond indirectly, Stalin walks a fine line between appealing to those who value a more nuanced approach and potentially disappointing those who expect a more forceful defense of Periyar's legacy.
So we've got Duraimurugan fiercely defending Periyar and taking aim at his critics, while Stalin opts for this more subtle strategy. It seems like this event has really given us a glimpse into this intricate dance of ideology and power that defines Tamil Nadu politics.
Precisely. And it highlights how a single statement can ignite a firestorm of debate and reveal the deep fissures that run through the political landscape. This incident is just the tip of the iceberg, and it offers a fascinating entry point, I think, into understanding the complexities of Tamil Nadu politics.
This clash over Periyar's legacy, it really highlights how these historical figures remain so potent in shaping contemporary politics.
Yeah.
But how does all this political maneuvering actually affect the everyday lives of people in Tamil Nadu?
That's the crucial question, I think.
Right.
These aren't just abstract ideological debates happening in some political vacuum. They have real-world consequences.
Yeah.
Periyar's ideas touch upon fundamental issues like social justice, equality, and identity. Issues that directly impact policy decisions, social programs, and the overall cultural landscape of the state.
So it's not just about winning elections, it's about shaping the very fabric of society.
Exactly.
Can you give us some concrete examples of how these ideological differences translate into real-life impact?
Absolutely. Take the issue of caste-based reservations in education and employment.
Right.
Periyar was a staunch advocate for affirmative action policies to uplift historically marginalized communities, and the DMK has largely followed suit, implementing reservation policies based on his ideas. But other parties might have different perspectives on the extent and scope of these reservations, leading to policy shifts that directly impact access to education and economic opportunities for millions.
So a seemingly abstract debate about a historical figure's ideology can actually determine whether someone gets access to a good education or a decent job. That's a pretty stark illustration of how these ideological battles have tangible consequences.
It is, and it underscores the importance, I think, of understanding the historical context and the different viewpoints at play, because these aren't just political games.
Right.
They have a very real impact on people's lives.
It makes you realize that history isn't just something we read about in textbooks. It's a living force that continues to shape the present. We're seeing that play out right now with this controversy over Periyar's legacy.
And it's likely to continue as different groups reinterpret his ideas in light of contemporary challenges and social changes.
Yeah.
The debate over Periyar's legacy isn't going away anytime soon.
Which leads to a question that I think is worth considering. How does this ongoing conflict between different interpretations of Periyar's ideas influence the current social and political discourse in Tamil Nadu? It seems like this goes beyond just electoral politics.
You're absolutely right. It touches upon these fundamental questions of identity, equality, and social justice questions that are at the very core of Tamil society. And how these questions are addressed will have profound implications for the future of the state.
We've talked about how these ideological differences translate into policies like reservations, but are there other ways that this clash of ideas manifests itself in the social and political landscape?
Definitely. One area where we see this play out is in the realm of language and cultural identity.
Okay.
Periyar emphasized the importance of Tamil language and culture, seeing them as integral to the identity and self-respect of Tamil people. The DMK has embraced this aspect of his ideology, promoting Tamil language and literature, and even implementing policies that favor Tamil speakers.
So something as seemingly simple as language becomes a battleground for these competing visions of Tamil identity.
Precisely. And this focus on language and culture has implications for education, government policies, and even the arts and entertainment industry.
It's amazing how a single figure like Periyar can continue to exert such a powerful influence on so many aspects of society, even decades after his death.
It speaks to the enduring power of ideas and how they can continue to shape the course of history. Periyar's ideas have sparked a movement that continues to resonate with millions, and his legacy remains a powerful force in shaping the social and political landscape of Tamil Nadu.
This deep dive has really opened my eyes to the complexities of Tamil Nadu politics and the enduring impact of Periyar. It's clear that understanding his legacy is essential to grasping the dynamics at play in the state.
Absolutely, and it's a reminder that history is never truly past. It continues to shape our present and influence our future in ways that we may not always realize.
It's fascinating how the ripples of Periyar's movement are still shaping the political landscape of Tamil Nadu today.
Yeah, it's a testament to how powerful ideas can be, especially when they resonate so deeply with the lived experiences of people.
This deep dive has given us so much to think about. What are some of the key takeaways you think our listeners should consider as they continue to explore this complex political landscape?
Well, I would say the most important thing is to approach these discussions with a critical and discerning eye. You know, don't take anything at face value.
Yeah.
Dig deeper. Explore different sources and consider the historical context and motivations of the different players involved.
So it's about going beyond just the headlines and sound bites to really grasp the complexities of what's happening.
Exactly. And remember that these issues of social justice, equality, and identity are often deeply personal and can evoke strong emotions, you know?
Right.
So engage in these discussions with empathy and respect, even when you encounter viewpoints that differ from your own.
That's great advice for navigating any politically charged discussion, really. We've unpacked this recent controversy, explored the historical context of Periyar's legacy, and even touched upon the real-world impacts of these ideological battles. Is there anything else you think is important for our listener to consider as they delve further into this topic?
I think it's worth reflecting on how these debates about Periyar's legacy and the ongoing struggle for social justice might resonate with similar conversations happening in other parts of India and even around the world, you know? Are there parallels to be drawn? Are there lessons to be learned from the Tamil Nadu experience? These are questions that deserve further exploration.
That's a great point. It reminds us that these issues transcend geographical boundaries.
Yeah.
And that there's so much to be gained from looking at these issues from a comparator perspective.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've successfully navigated the often turbulent waters of Tamil Nadu politics in this deep dive. It's been an enlightening journey.
It certainly has. And as always, this is just the beginning of a much larger and ongoing conversation.
And for our listener, I hope this deep dive has sparked a curiosity to delve deeper into these issues, to explore the different perspectives, and to continue engaging in this crucial conversation. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and we look forward to bringing you more insights into the fascinating world of politics, history, and ideas.